I found my childhood photo in a stranger's wallet. I never imagined my life could fracture over a photograph. The day I found my childhood photo in a stranger's wallet, everything changed. My name is Margaret, I'm 72, and I've lived in this small coastal town most of my life. The scent of salt water and the sound of gulls were the constants of my mornings. My home was quiet, filled with the gentle hum of memories, the smell of old books, and the faint aroma of brewing tea. I thought I understood my family, until that fateful afternoon. It started at the little cafe by the harbor. I was tidying the table after tea when a leather wallet slid from the chair next to mine. I picked it up, intending to hand it to the owner. But the moment I opened it, I froze. There, pressed between faded bills and receipts, was a photograph of me as a child. A photo I hadn't seen in decades. My heart raced, a chill ran down my spine. How could this stranger possibly have it? My hands trembled. Something about the wallet felt wrong, too deliberate, too personal. My eyes darted across the room, but no one seemed to notice. And yet I felt the weight of unseen eyes. Who was holding a piece of my past, and why? The cafe grew quiet around me, but inside my mind was a storm. I glanced again at the wallet, the photo almost glowing under the dim sunlight. The child in the photo, small, wide-eyed, innocent, was unmistakably me. But how had it ended up in the hands of a stranger? The man who owned the wallet returned, a middle-aged man with weary eyes and a soft, apologetic smile. I tried to hand it back, but something in his expression made me pause. His hands trembled as he took it, yet he avoided my gaze. Over the next few days, I began noticing small, inexplicable things. Letters that went missing, odd phone calls that ended when I picked up, shadows outside my window at night. My sense of security crumbled. Late one evening, I found a small note tucked behind my doorframe. Some truths are better hidden. The handwriting was familiar yet unreadable, like a ghost from my past. My pulse quickened. Someone knew. Someone had been watching, waiting, and now I was part of a story I didn't understand. The message hinted at a secret buried long ago. A secret that was finally reaching for me. Days passed and the unease became unbearable. I began retracing old memories, examining forgotten corners of my home, flipping through dusty photo albums hoping for a clue. Every drawer, every envelope held fragments, some familiar, some alien. One evening I found a receipt in a book I hadn't opened in years. It was from a small photo studio in a neighboring town, dated 30 years ago. But the name written on it was not mine. My fingers shook. Someone else had collected or perhaps stolen pieces of my life. Secret calls began to arrive on my landline. Soft whispers, garbled voices, always ending before I could respond. Even my neighbors noticed the odd behavior of strangers around my street, and my family seemed unusually evasive when I tried to ask questions. Then came the first misleading clue. My granddaughter, visiting from the city, casually mentioned a family friend who had a collection of old memories, including pictures of everyone. She didn't realize what she had said. My heart sank. Was this stranger someone I knew all along? Was this a coincidence or something far darker? A hidden connection from my past was emerging, but it wasn't ready to reveal its full face. I could no longer wait. I arranged to meet the man at a quiet park near the harbor, the same place I had spent many childhood summers. My hands were clammy, my heart pounding like the waves against the cliffs. "I need to know," I said, voice trembling but firm. "Why do you have my childhood photo?" He looked at me, the weight of years evident in his eyes. "Margaret, it's not what you think," he whispered. I felt a surge of frustration and fear. "Then tell me. Stop hiding behind words. This is my life." He finally looked me in the eye. "I was supposed to protect it. That photo, it's not just a photo. It's proof of something that was never meant to be discovered. Someone in your family made choices to hide truths from you, and I was keeping them safe. Tears stung my eyes, my mind spinning. Betrayal. My own family. How deep did it go? The man's words hinted at a secret I had never imagined, and it was tied to someone I loved. The truth unraveled slowly, painfully. The stranger had been a distant cousin, entrusted by my late parents to safeguard family secrets. That photograph, along with others, documented events my family had wanted buried. A scandal, a betrayal, a lost inheritance, and even a child swapped at birth. The revelation struck me harder than any storm I had weathered. My parents had kept secrets not out of malice but to protect me, but the weight of deception had grown over decades. That stranger, who had seemed unknown and possibly dangerous, was in truth a guardian of history. Even more shocking, the photograph was evidence of a connection to a branch of the family I had never met. Someone I thought lost forever was alive. I felt my world tilt, disoriented, betrayed by the very people I had trusted, yet relieved that the stranger's motives were protective. A hidden history finally revealed, reframed everything I believed about my past. The family I thought I knew was not as simple as I had believed, and now I had to decide what to do with this knowledge. I returned home, the weight of truth pressing down like a storm cloud. Rain tapped softly against the windows, a melancholy rhythm to match my thoughts. My hands shook as I clutched the photograph again, now understanding its significance. I walked through my home slowly, memories of childhood summers, laughter, and quiet evenings with family flashing before me. Each image was now tinted with the bittersweet knowledge of what had been hidden. Tears fell freely, a mixture of grief, relief, and anger. I blamed myself for never noticing the gaps, for trusting blindly. The sense of betrayal was deep, but so was the relief of knowing that not all secrets were malicious. Some were heavy burdens carried in silence to protect fragile hearts. The night deepened and I finally allowed myself to grieve, not just for the past but for the illusions I had held. Alone, I realized the journey wasn't over. Understanding the truth meant facing the people I once trusted. Weeks later, life settled into a quieter rhythm. I had confronted my family, discussed the hidden truths, and acknowledged the stranger's role in safeguarding our history. Distance remained, but healing began. I walked along the harbor again, listening to the gulls, letting the sea wind carry away some of the lingering pain. The photograph now sat framed on my mantle, a reminder of both betrayal and protection. I had learned that love and secrecy often coexist in messy ways. Family is never just a series of perfect moments. It is a tapestry of choices, secrets, and forgiveness. Sometimes, understanding comes too late, but acceptance is a choice we can still make. I felt the weight lift slowly, realizing that even when truth hurts, it also frees. Be careful who you trust, even the ones closest to your heart.